this is the opportunity that I'm always talking about in terms of reflection. This is the benchmark. We started the year, we're getting to the end of the year. What shifted, what didn't?
I adopted Tucker technically, and then we got a kitten. Her name's Tariel, and we made a lot of progress on the personal front as well in terms of our family, our immediate family. And so, 2022 was great, and I'm excited for 2023 though, for sure.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was last week's live Q&A. What if I don't want to spend what if I don't want to spend the holidays with certain family members? For some reason, I cannot get that title correct. Today, for episode number 1180, did this year go the way you wanted? If you are listening to us, I have red and green lights behind me instead of the normal blue. If you are watching us on YouTube, you can see that. Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I guess I would say my favorite season. And so we're celebrating. We're celebrating hard.
Holidays.
If
Have
we're
you watched
talking
Home
about
Alone yet?
Not yet, no. If we're talking about holidays, if we're talking about the end of the year, that means that it's time for reflection. Mm-hmm. And when I was deciding what episodes we should do, I thought about, well, what are Alan and I kind of dealing with right now? And what are we thinking about based on where we are in the year? And I came up with this thought. Did the year go the way that we wanted it to go? Did this year end up as successful as we wanted? Did we do the things that we said we were going to do? How are we feeling? And I told Alan before this, I said, honestly, I actually feel better. I don't think I knew what to expect for 2022. So all things considered, I think we're doing a really, really good job. I don't know how many new team members we got this year and how many new clients we got. And there were just a lot of things that were very, very new. And then we also did a lot of things that we've been doing, but we just did them better and more group coaching. And we flew out to Wisconsin and we went to Toronto, and that was all wonderful stuff. So I want, and Alan, tell your side of how you're feeling. And then that way we can kind of give value based on both sides.
Well, I think one of the benefits of our show is that we always drive to 5. Kevin's perspective is often different than mine, but not necessarily less optimal. And I think there's, no matter how thin you slice it, there's always two sides. And I think that if you're like me and you're overly optimistic and you have a lot of self-belief and a lot of self-confidence in your own abilities, you probably overestimate sometimes what you can accomplish. And you aim higher and you end up missing, but at least you aimed high. And that's always been my philosophy ever since I was a kid. My mom taught me, you can be a CEO or you can be a farmer. I'm going to love you either way. But if you wake up one day and decide to be a farmer, if you are already a CEO, it works that way. It doesn't work the other way around. So aim high and you'll have choices. And I've always just lived by that. Aim high as possible and you'll have choices. So we shot really, really high for 2022. So at NLU, our goal is to double our impact and double our profitability every year over year, which is really, really, really aspirational. It's very ambitious. Not a lot of companies double every year. And the analogy here is if you double a penny every day for 31 days, you end up with $10.3 million or 10.
It's either 10.3 or 10.4, I think.
Okay. And so we've projected out to 2035, and we have some really, really large goals and aspirations, and we want to become the most successful holistic self-improvement company in history, and that's no small feat. And so that's going to require that we double our impact and our revenue every year. And we shot at the beginning of this year for a $500,000 business. So actually, what's interesting, Kev, is if you look at the aggregate of our entire business, we actually have surpassed the $500,000 mark.
Yes.
I think our total gross revenue is surpassed $500,000 a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago. But in 2022 in particular, we doubled the team in the last year. We came close to doubling the impact. We definitely doubled the amount of departments. And we wanted to double our revenue. We ended up I think we're going to hit about 300,000 this year in gross revenue. And so we were, we had a big February. I think February we grossed $47,000, and we thought that would continue. We thought that would continue. And it didn't. Everything is highs, lows, ebbs, and flows, particularly in business, but even for your habits, this, right? It's a constant, improve, fall back. It's 5 steps forward, 3 steps back. Okay, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay, it's 5 steps forward, 6 steps back. Okay, now it's 8 steps forward, 4 steps back. So it's a constant, whether you're doing peak performance tracking or you're doing habit tracking or you're doing, business, everything is very cyclical. There's high months and low months. There's high days and low days. There's high weeks and low weeks, and there's high years and low years. And this for us was a high year in comparison to last year. I think in 2021 we grossed 150? I think 150. And so we did double, which is huge. We did double. That's awesome. But we had that big February, and we were like, dude, we can do it. We can do it. We can hit $500,000 this year. Holy crap. Let's do this. Let's go for that. Why not? And we fell short. We fell short by 200,000, but we still are a very, 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 very successful podcast. And my perspective, Kev, is, of course, it always is, we are capable of far more. I'm not necessarily pleased with my own performance this year. I think that I worked hard, and I think, I learned a lot, and I'm grateful for all that or whatever, but no, we didn't do nearly what I think we are capable of. I just don't think we're even close to tapping our true potential.
I like that. I'm grateful or whatever, but I suck and I hate myself.
No. I want to be very transparent here. I think there's a lot of things we did really well, and I really sincerely, genuinely mean that. But I think there's a lot that we left on the table. And 2023, I'm really excited. I don't know when, but whenever we hit December, I was just completely focused on 2023. And Kevin and I just this week redesigned our entire business model to scale and grow in 2023. And if you're a listener, we like to bring you behind the scenes, and I want you thinking about your own life here, not just Kevin and I. But we have Kevin focused on the community and the brand. We have Christina, our COO, focused on the team and being the glue that holds the team together and supports the team and leads the team. And then we have me focused on the numbers, the metrics, the business infrastructure, the departments, and the organizational structure, essentially optimization. And so I'm really excited for 2023. So yeah, 2022, I think we didn't achieve our goals fully. I think we did a great job, and I think there's a lot of things we did do better than we thought we would. But we didn't necessarily exceed my expectations. But I do think in 2023, all of the lessons we learned through failure in 2022 are going to be wild. I'm really excited. And I am super grateful for you and I to be able to do what we love every day. And then on our personal lives, you got married, right? I moved in with Emilia a year ago. So there's a lot of really good things in our personal lives. You got 2 cats. I got I adopted Tucker technically, and then we got a kitten. Her name's Tariel, and we made a lot of progress on the personal front as well in terms of our family, our immediate family. And so, yeah, 2022 was great, and I'm excited for 2023 though, for sure.
Yeah, the goal in this episode, and it's interesting, we haven't done a reflection episode in a long time, so that's I guess that's a little bit of what this is. But the goal is for you to say, okay, at the beginning of the year, maybe this is really what the takeaway is. At the beginning of the year, this is what I expected to happen. I expected that based on what I was doing, I was going to get this result, positive or negative. At the beginning of the year, I said I was going to hit the gym X amount of times and I was going to finally lose that weight, or I was finally going to gain that weight. I said I was finally going to get out of this job that I don't like, or I'm going to get out of this relationship that isn't serving me, or I'm going to make more aligned friends, or whatever it is. This is the opportunity that I'm always talking about in terms of reflection. This is the benchmark. We started the year, we're getting to the end of the year. What shifted, what didn't? The quote that I've been saying on a bunch of other podcasts that you heard here first. From day to day, progress is impossible. It's invisible. Sorry. From year to year, progress is impossible to miss.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Day to day,
son.
progress is impossible.
Feels like it, honestly. But so that's the thing, right? At the beginning of the year, you're trying to make progress. Progress is invisible. But now where you are, you can look back and say, oh, you know what? Those habits were serving me or they weren't serving me.
That was great.
It's been a long
day. That made my whole night. That made my whole night, especially with how hot you came in with the confidence. That was.
I have very little confidence today. I've given it all away to everybody else.
That was great.
But that's the
day. Progress is impossible.
That's my goal. That's my goal. Because I understand in these episodes when Alan and I are talking about us, it might be hard for you to take something away. But that's really what I want this to be for you, an opportunity to proactively look back and say, wow, how far have I come? Or how far have I not come based on what I actually expected the results to be? And Alan, we had as of today, we've had 220,000 downloads or 220,000 listens this year. So we should be at like 235 or 240,000.
Nice. Pretty good. What did you expect versus what happened? Like, what are you proud of? What are so at NLU we do most important win, most important improvement, and if you've ever downloaded our app Optimal, you track your habits each day. Start with 3, then 6, then 9, and then at the end of the evening, you cash out and you track your habits, and then you do a most important win and a most important improvement. So what's the most important win for the day, and then what's the most important improvement for tomorrow? And so for you, Kev, in terms of 2022, what's your most important win and what's your most important improvement?
Most important win. I don't know.
What are some wins? Let's just,
We got paid to fly out and give a speech, which was awesome. That was really cool. Website got revamped, which is big. That's really cool. I would say the most important win, and shout out to Laura for this, and anybody else on the team who has made this possible, but I would say Laura more than anyone else based on her efforts. I went on probably 300 podcasts, other shows this year. Like, that's pretty wild when you think about it.
Yeah,
that's probably the thing. That's probably the biggest win for me. The fact that I have been on, between our show, well, let's just say I probably did almost 700 episodes this year, if not more, maybe 750. That's my biggest win.
Wild.
That's
a lot of impact.
It's a lot of impact, and it's a lot of mastery. I'm starting to see it now. This episode is zero indication of that because I can't speak or think in an eloquent manner at all. But it's definitely the reps have definitely added up for sure.
The compound effect.
Yeah, and then the improvement is you and I just have to get better. More mastery, more impact, more profitability.
Yep.
I think I think we're kind of where I expected. I expected us to double. I did not expect us to double listens necessarily, because listens for us are usually behind money. We make more money than we do get listens. Is that a sentence? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Which
so
is
for
rare.
me, it's very rare. And that's, again, I'm blessed because it's based on impact. So I'm all for that. But again, the goal is this. Would this be another month where, and I don't know, this is just the energy of the world that I feel, at least, is we're just kind of like, all right, we got however many days left. We got 24 days left in this month. Like, let's just get through it. That's the energy I feel from a lot of people I talk to, where you might not reflect. You might use this as a time to lick your wounds and get ready for the next year. Or are you reflecting? That's really the ultimate goal in this episode. I didn't really have a great story for it, but I wanted to do this episode because I think it's valuable. I think it's valuable for all of us to say, hey, let's have a real talk. How well did this year actually go? Because if somebody asks, hey, did you have a good year? You're probably going to say yes. And you might not think about it that much. You might say, yeah, I had a pretty good year. This happened, this happened, this happened. But was it actually what you expected? Was it what you desired? Was it what you intended on? That's why I wanted, and I told Alan, I said, I want us to share the fact that we didn't hit our financial projection. That's important. It's important for us, but I think it's also important for the listeners because, again, we pride ourselves on trying to be as authentic and transparent as humanly possible. And I guess this is a good question for you, Alan. What are you going to do differently next year? Son?
Hey guys, it's Alex Ramos, and I am happy that I was in group coaching for a second time. It definitely helps to have accountability. I'm happy that I invested in this because it was investing in me, and even better, I get to meet people that are doing the same exact thing to help themselves. And I need friends and close people around me like that, So yeah, I really appreciated being in group coaching because of the accountability and because of meeting people.
I am going to focus way more in my genius zone. So at NLU, we all have a genius target. We actually did a monthly meetup on this. And if you're ever interested, just reach out. And we actually are doing this with every department as well. Just picture a target with 3 layers. The center of mine is coaching and consulting. The next layer is training, speaking, and podcasting. And then the third layer is writing. And all 3 of those, what they have in common is effective communication. And so the key to success in any endeavor really comes down to a couple things that matter a ton. So with podcasting, it's, consistent quality content would be number 1, right? So every success in any endeavor, 80% of it, 90% of it, honestly, is these 3 really important things. And so what we've done with the team is, both personally and professionally, we've broken down the top 3 best uses of their time and effort. And so in 2023, I'm going to stay way more honed on my genius target and then eliminate, automate, delegate, or procrastinate the things outside of that target. And again, that's a constant progression. This is a whole other conversation, but trying to focus my time and effort far more effectively and, more importantly, stay aligned. I think there's a lot of things that you and I said yes to that in hindsight were not as valuable as we thought. And then there's other things that ended up making a way bigger difference than we thought. So you always have to do this sort of explore and expand and then come back and learn from it of like, okay, what ended up paying off and what ended up not paying off. And you have to be careful because sometimes the payoff is long-term. So just because something seems like it's not working doesn't mean it's not. Sometimes you got to give it some time. And so that's why reflection is so important. I would say the thing I'm most proud of, I just want to share this, is just the impact. I think we've impacted so many people. I was with a client yesterday, and he was really down because, keep this anonymous, he said, one of my friends, I was hanging out with 2 friends of mine, and I don't feel like they know this version of me. I have this Twitter account, and I've grown it, and now I have 6,700 followers, something like that. And I'm so motivational on there, and he's doing triathlons, and he's training every day, and he's a really motivating, inspiring guy, and he's killing it. I mean, he's lost, 30 pounds since working with me or something like that. And again, he was on that train before working with me, so that's not my coaching. Although I think the coaching and the tracking has helped. But anyways, he's this really motivating, inspiring, growth-oriented guy, and then he goes back to these old friends, and they don't know him like that, and he's afraid of their judgment. So apparently they were like, oh, let me follow you on Twitter, and he was embarrassed. He's embarrassed. That's not how they know me. And so what I'm really proud of is helping so many people like him break out of that fear of judgment and really lean into who they really want to be. Because I asked him, I said, which one is Superman and which one's Clark Kent? Which one's the real you? And he's like, this is the real me. They're both the real me because it's different parts. But like we all have a part of us that wants to have fun, and then we have a part of us that wants to grow, and then we have a part of us that wants to relax, and we have a part of us, right? So we all have all these parts, and just because you're showing one part of you doesn't mean you're being inauthentic, and that's important to recognize. But the part that he wants to grow, the part that you feed, the part that you focus on is going to be the one that grows. And so the part that he wants to grow is the growth, motivating, inspiring part. He wants to inspire people to do these challenges and all kinds of stuff. And so that's what I'm most proud of, is I feel like we've helped so many people this year break out of that fear of judgment shell and lean into the growth part, the part of them that really wants to be improvement, the self-improvement part, and he told me, he said, these calls, why they're so valuable is because that part comes out of me when I'm with you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we're feeding that part when you're with me. Great. Who else? Who else in your life is feeding that part? I think NLU feeds that part of people. And I think it's a safe place for them to really, goals and dreams and tracking habits and getting better every day is cool here. It's accepted here. It's not even accepted. It's encouraged here. And that's what I'm really proud of. And I showed him my deepest why folder. I have a folder. If anyone's ever reached out to me, any listener has ever reached out to me, saying that I've changed their life in a positive way, I always screenshot it and I save it in this private folder. And I showed him just a quick like little scroll of it. I didn't show him any of the actual messages, but he was like, whoa, because he met Tom Bilyeu a couple weekends ago at an NFT conference. And he's like, it was so nice. I was afraid to meet my heroes because my heroes, they say don't meet your hero because they'll let you down. And he's like, Tom Bilyeu was actually a really nice guy. And he was kind to me and all stuff. And I showed him, I said, it's so interesting. Like, you can never forget why you started. And so, anyways, long story long here. I'm proud that we kept impact as the most important thing, even when we were trying to hit profitability goals, even when we were having an up month and then a down month. Because after the up month, we spent more than we should have. We paid off debts, like all kinds of things. And so I'm just proud that we kept impact the main focus. And I'm most proud that we stayed in integrity and helped so many people. That's really, I think we helped a lot of people this year. That I'm proud of, genuinely. I'm disappointed in myself, but I'm very proud of like how many people we've helped. Like, seriously.
Yeah, same. Looking forward to more and more and more and more. So if you're listening to this, write down top 5 wins, top 5 improvements. What are the top 5 wins from this year? What are the top 5 improvements that you will make going into next year to make sure next year is better?
Let's lead by example, Kev. What are your top 5 wins?
Oh, man.
What are your top 5 improvements?
Top 5 wins. I would say our content has come way up, number 1. Number 2, going on so many other shows. Number 3, Next Level Podcast Solutions is a multi-6-figure business, which is awesome. Love that. Big fan. Is that 3 or 4? 4,
3.
Got married. 5, I met a lot of great people this year. I met a lot of like great people, many of which inspired me in their own unique way. When I go on other podcasts, there's sometimes, and I've told you this, like sometimes I get off and be like, that's just a good effing human being. Like, what a good person. Like, I'm inspired by good. I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by the character. So I would say that would be the number 5.
Nice, man. What about the improvements?
I have none. I'm the man.
I have none. I am perfect. You're funny.
Oh, man. Prioritize fitness more this year.
Yeah, same.
Now that I understand that I have kind of taken my foot off the gas. That'll be 1.
We've let it go, haven't we?
We've let it go more than I realized. And again, I'm still proud of myself and all that. It's not a self-hate thing with Alan and I. It's just we know we could do better. No, I think the second improvement is don't take my foot off the gas when we're starting to get results. I know we were guilty of that a couple times.
Yeah. Watching shows at noon on a Tuesday after a big month.
Most important improvement. Do better at checking in with each bucket more consistently. So like how much time is in the business, how much time is in fitness, how much time is in my relationship. That's very important. This was a very big business year where I put more time into the business than anything else by far.
Same.
Right? So that's an important one. Most important improvement. Hold my boundaries tighter. That's something I've been leaning into. And then focus on sleep more. I haven't been, especially towards the end of the year, my sleep has definitely taken a hit, if you can't tell by looking at me.
Strong work, brother. And again, I asked Kev because do you want me to?
Not really. I just know it might take a while because you're going to go like super deep in your thought.
I can go quick. Try to go
quick. You can
go
quick.
I want us to lead by example. Always.
Yeah, of course.
Most important wins, the amount of people we helped this year is wild. By far the best. Most important win, number 2, The team. I think the team has come up so much. They've grown a lot. They're equipped a lot. Number 3, I am much better at telling people difficult truths in a way that's aligned, and I try to be kind. Number 3, I'm way better now at saying no to things that are not aligned with my greatest level of potential impact and profitability. And then 5, my relationship with Emilia is unbelievable. Living with her is a dream come true. I mean, you want to talk about things that exceeded my expectations. I mean, it's unreal. It's unbelievable. It's the best. It's the best. So that, a lot of things didn't go as well as I thought they would this year, but I'll tell you what, that has gone infinitely better than I thought. I mean, it's beyond what I once believed was even possible, genuinely. So just because you didn't hit your targets at the beginning of a year doesn't mean there aren't other things that exceeded. I think that's an important lesson. I got a kitten. That was another one, she is the sweetest. Oh my God, she's the sweetest. She's so sweet. I love her. And then most important improvements. So 5. 1, I mean, come on. Fitness-wise, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? Now, granted, I've exercised consistently, 280 days in a row. I'm proud of that consistency. But the nutrition needs to come way up. So that's number 1. Nutrition needs to come way up. Number 2, I think NLBS is capable of a lot more. I think that I should encourage more people to work with me. I think I should encourage more people to work with Bianca on the CBTC coaching side. I think I should encourage more people to get outside their comfort zone and fear chase and get on these free calls. I also think I should encourage more people I should ask more. I should ask people like, hey, do you know of anyone who's struggling right now who could use some guidance? Okay, so there's that. And then, what am I on, 3? Is that 3? Yeah, I think that was 3. Okay. 4, what I could improve? Oh, effective communication. I thought I was a strong communicator. And I think that, statistically speaking, I might be on the higher end of that, but I think I've eaten so much humble pie this year of how difficult communication is. If someone understands something the way you understand it, that's what creates transformation. And I am genuinely not nearly as good at that as I need to be in order to help as many people as I intend to. So that I need to improve my communication. I have a score that I track every week now. I've actually been doing that. So I have a percentage of how much I've improved. And then last but not least, most important improvement, be more truthful with everyone about, I would say this, be the student when I'm supposed to be the student. And I naturally am a student. Anyone who knows me well behind the scenes, I'm always learning. I'm always asking questions. I'm always trying to learn everything that I can about the way the world works, about how people work, about how the economy works, all this. But I need to be a teacher sometimes when I know I'm ahead. And I think taking that teacher role, the guide role, more importantly, particularly in finance and business, because I've seen so many people in my inner circle just really start crushing it in finance because I actually took the baton and was like, listen, I know you think you're good at this. Let me drive here. I've got you. I want to help people become wealthy. I want to help people become healthy. And I want to help people become more in love. And I think I'm becoming more of a guide at this older age. I'm 34 now. I'm not a little kid anymore. I've got decades of studying this stuff and practicing this stuff and reflecting on this stuff, right? 34 years, that's a lot of years to look back on. I mean, it's 2022 right now, but, I've been reflecting on my years ever since I was a kid. And we have a lot of reps, man. We got a lot of reps and we've been doing a lot of work. I've always been a pretty hardworking guy and I've got a lot of experiences now. And I know when I need to take the guide role more often. Not always, but more often.
Strong work. Next, Level Nation. You're very welcome, brother. Our 9th round of group coaching, I cannot do it, starts on January 3rd, 2023. If you are reflecting and you're excited about the progress you made, imagine if you had 9 other people who wanted to make the same amount of progress and to young strapping gentlemen who wanted to lead you to the promised land. If you are disappointed in the progress you made this year, that's an even better reason for you to sign up. I think we already have 2 people signed up, so it is filling up, which is wonderful. Usually there's some spots towards the end, but I do not expect that will happen. Again, everybody wants to start the year strong, especially if you have the inspiration and necessity based on what has happened in the prior year. So link will be in the show notes. Please, please, please sign up. It is affordable. We make it that way. If you can't attend the calls live, everything is recorded only for the members of the group. It is worth every penny, I promise.
Okay, so I was on the phone with a client, and this is she's in all the stuff. She's in all things NLU, absolutely crushing it, and a client. And I realized she wasn't on the mailing list. And she's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, no, every week we have this thing called a weekly wrap. And it has my blog in there, and it's got, all the episodes and links to the exact episodes, and it's got what the next monthly meetup is, and it's an email, it's a weekly, once a week newsletter that updates you on all things NLU. And she's like, I want to be on that. How do I get on that? And I was like, oh my God, what a massive oversight, right? And so I added her to the mailing list. If you're not on the mailing list yet and you want to be, please reach out to Kevin or myself. We'll put you on it immediately. And I realized that I don't think we promote that very much. We don't talk about the weekly wrap. We are 60 weeks in a row of doing this, and nobody knows about it. Not nobody, but if you're a new listener, and one way you can enroll in the mailing list if you want to is if you download our free course on the website, and the link will be in the show notes. You'll also get added to the mailing list. I think there's an opt-in or opt-out if you'd like to. And so, join the mailing list.
Boom. Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 1181. What your reactions say about you. I took a recent trip to Target, which is the basis for that episode. And it was a very interesting trip, and I'm excited to share it with you all. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
We'll see you at the next level.
Nice.